The rain hammered against the glass doors of the Meridian Grand Hotel. Maya pulled her gray cardigan tighter over her white button-down shirt, the fabric worn thin at the elbows. Her black slacks were standard issue, practical but unforgiving under the harsh lobby lighting. She hated working the reception desk. The marble floors reflected everything, made her feel exposed. The grandfather clock struck midnight. She rubbed her tired eyes, the concealer barely hiding the purple shadows beneath them. 3 jobs. This was number 2. Sleep was a luxury she couldn't afford. The revolving door spun. A man stepped through, rain dripping from his charcoal overcoat. He shrugged it off, revealing a black turtleneck and tailored gray trousers that fit like they'd been sewn onto his frame. Dark stubble shadowed his jaw. A thin scar cut through his left eyebrow. Maya straightened, her pulse quickening for reasons she couldn't name. He approached the desk without urgency, eyes scanning the empty lobby like he was cataloging exits. When his gaze finally settled on her, something shifted in the air. "Checking in," he said. His voice was low, controlled. "Suite 12. Ashford." She typed the name with steady fingers, surprised by her own calm. "Dominic Ashford." "Yes, we have you for 3 nights. Could be longer." Their eyes met. His were storm gray, haunted. Maya slid the keycard across polished wood. "The suite overlooks the bay. There's a private balcony." He took the card, fingers grazing hers. The contact lasted half a second too long. "You always work nights?" he asked. "When they need me." "That doesn't answer my question." Maya felt heat crawl up her neck. "I work whenever I can. 3 jobs keeps the lights on." Something flickered in his expression. "Respect, maybe. Or recognition. What are the other 2? Why do you care?" The corner of his mouth lifted. Not quite a smile. "I don't know yet." He picked up his leather duffel bag, worn but expensive, and headed toward the elevators. At the last moment, he turned back. "I'll be down at 7. Coffee shop across the street any good? It's the only thing worth visiting in this neighborhood." "Then I'll see you there." It wasn't a question. The elevator doors closed, and Maya realized she'd been holding her breath. She glanced at the guest registry on her screen. Dominic Ashford. No company listed. No contact information beyond a burner phone number. Her coworker emerged from the back office, a stocky man named Jerome who'd worked here 20 years. "That guy just checked in?" he asked, frowning. "Suite 12. Why?" Jerome's jaw tightened. "Because 3 people have asked about Suite 12 in the last 2 days. Different people. All paid cash for information." Ice slid down Maya's spine. "What kind of information? When it would be occupied? Who would be staying there? You didn't tell them anything, right?" "Of course not." Jerome crossed his arms. "But someone's looking for your Mr. Ashford. And they're not being subtle about it." Maya stared at the elevator, her heart pounding against her ribs. What had she just gotten herself into? Maya walked into the coffee shop at 7:15, still wearing her work clothes. The morning light cut through rain-streaked windows, illuminating worn wooden tables and mismatched chairs. The smell of fresh espresso filled the cramped space. Dominic sat in the corner booth, same black turtleneck, a different coat draped over the seat. Charcoal wool, expensive. He was reading a newspaper, but his eyes tracked her the moment she entered. "You came," he said. "You sounded certain I would." "I hoped." Maya slid into the booth across from him, her cardigan catching on the cracked vinyl. She wore the same outfit from last night, minus the name tag. Her hair was pulled back in a simple ponytail, no makeup except a touch of mascara she'd applied in the hotel bathroom. Dominic signaled the waitress, ordered 2 coffees without asking what Maya wanted. "Bold assumption," she said. "You look like someone who drinks it black. No sugar." He was right. She hated that he was right. The coffee arrived. Maya wrapped her hands around the warm cup, studying him. In daylight, the scar through his eyebrow was more pronounced. His hands showed faint calluses, not the soft hands of someone who'd never worked. "Jerome told me something last night," she said quietly. "People have been asking about Suite 12. Dominic's expression didn't change, but his fingers tightened around his cup. "How many people?" 3. Different ones. They paid cash. Did Jerome describe them? 2 men, 1 woman. All businesslike. Professional. Dominic exhaled slowly, gaze shifting to the window. Rain continued to fall, turning the street into a blur of gray. "I should go," Maya said, starting to rise. "This is clearly something I don't want to be part of." "Wait." His hand shot across the table, catching her wrist. Not forceful, but urgent. "Please." She froze at the contact, at the desperation threading through that single word. "I'm not a bad person," he said. "But I'm in trouble. Real trouble." "Then why involve me?" "Because I saw something in you last night. Someone who understands what it's like to fight just to survive." Maya pulled her hand back, but she didn't leave. "Talk." Dominic leaned forward, voice dropping. "I used to work for a private security firm. High-level protection, witness relocation, asset recovery. The kind of work that operates in shadows. Used to. I found out my partner was selling information. Getting people killed for profit. When I threatened to expose him, he framed me for one of his jobs. Made it look like I murdered a federal informant." Maya's blood turned cold. "Did you?" "No." His eyes locked onto hers, unflinching. "But the evidence says I did. My own firm wants me dead. The people who hired my partner want me dead. I'm hunting for proof to clear my name before they find me first." "And you came here because?" "Because my partner's last known transaction happened in this city. Someone at this hotel helped him move encrypted files 3 months ago. I need to find out who." The pieces clicked together in Maya's mind. "You're using Suite 12 as bait. They'll come for me. When they do, I'll get answers. And then what? They kill you?" "Maybe." Dominic's jaw tightened. "But at least I'll die knowing the truth." Maya should have walked away. Should have run straight to the police. But something in his eyes held her there, something broken and honest and desperate. "Why tell me this?" she whispered. "Because you'll be working tonight. And if they come, I need someone who can warn me. Someone I can trust. You don't even know me." "I know enough." He reached into his coat, pulled out a small burner phone. "If you see anyone suspicious, anyone at all asking about me, send one word: run." Maya stared at the phone on the table between them. "What if I say no? Then I'll check out and disappear. And you'll never see me again." Something twisted in her chest at those words. She'd known this man for 8 hours. 8 hours. It was insane. She picked up the phone. "One word," she said. "That's all you get." Relief flooded his face. "Thank you." "Don't thank me yet." Maya stood, tucking the phone into her cardigan pocket. "If this goes wrong, we're both dead." She turned to leave, but his voice stopped her at the door. "Maya?" She looked back. "I won't let anything happen to you. I promise." It was a promise he had no right to make. A promise that meant everything and nothing at the same time. Maya stepped into the rain, knowing she'd just crossed a line she could never uncross. The hotel felt different that night. Maya couldn't shake the sensation of being watched. She wore her usual uniform, white shirt, black slacks, gray cardigan. But tonight she'd left her hair down, a small act of defiance against the fear coiling in her stomach. The burner phone sat heavy in her pocket. Midnight came and went. The lobby remained empty except for Jerome, who worked silently in the back office. At 1 a.m., a woman entered through the revolving doors. She wore a cream-colored trench coat, tailored black dress underneath, heels that clicked against marble with military precision. Blonde hair swept into a severe bun. Red lipstick. Cold blue eyes that swept the lobby like a predator scanning for prey. Maya's heart hammered. She forced herself to smile. "Good evening." "Checking in?" The woman approached the desk slowly, deliberately. "Actually, I'm looking for someone." "A guest." "Dominic Ashford." Every instinct screamed at Maya to reach for the burner phone. "I'm sorry, I can't give out guest information." The woman's smile was razor-sharp. "I'm his sister. He's expecting me." "Lie." Everything about this woman screamed lie. "Then you should call him directly," Maya said, keeping her voice steady. "I still can't confirm if he's a guest here." The woman's eyes narrowed. She reached into her coat, and Maya's breath caught, but she only pulled out a wallet. She placed $500 bills on the desk. "Suite 12. Is he there or not?" Maya stared at the money. "Rent. Groceries. The electric bill she couldn't pay. $500 for one piece of information." Her fingers twitched toward the cash. "I can't help you," she whispered. The woman's expression hardened. "You're making a mistake." "It won't be my first." The woman collected her money with slow, deliberate movements. "You have no idea what you're protecting. Dominic Ashford is a murderer. He killed an innocent man and ran. Whatever he's told you is a lie. Then call the police." "This is beyond police." The woman leaned closer, voice dropping to a whisper. "He'll destroy you. Everyone who gets close to him ends up dead or broken. I'm trying to save your life." For a moment, doubt crept in. What did she really know about Dominic? 8 hours of conversation. A scarred stranger with a story that could be complete fiction. But then she remembered his eyes. The raw honesty. The desperation. "You need to leave," Maya said firmly. "Now." The woman straightened, smile vanishing. "Suit yourself." She turned and walked toward the elevators. Panic seized Maya's chest. The elevators required a keycard for upper floors, but the woman moved with the confidence of someone who already had access. The moment she disappeared into the elevator, Maya grabbed the burner phone. One word. "Run." She hit send. Seconds stretched into eternities. Then her phone buzzed. Too late. Maya's blood turned to ice. She ran for the elevator, but Jerome appeared, blocking her path. "Maya, what's wrong?" "I need to get to Suite 12. Now." "You can't just barge into a guest's room." "Jerome, please." But he held firm, confusion and concern warring on his face. A sound echoed from upstairs. Not quite a gunshot. More like something heavy hitting a wall. Maya's vision tunneled. She shoved past Jerome, grabbed the master keycard from the desk, and ran for the stairs. 12 flights. Her lungs burned. Her legs screamed. She burst through the stairwell door onto the 12th floor. Suite 12's door hung open. Inside, the room was chaos. Furniture overturned. Broken glass. And in the center of it all, Dominic knelt on the floor, hands zip-tied behind his back. The blonde woman stood over him, holding a gun. "Right on time," the woman said, turning to Maya with a smile. "I was wondering if you'd come." Maya froze in the doorway. Dominic's eyes met hers. Blood trickled from his temple. "Get out," he growled. "Run. She's not going anywhere." The woman gestured with the gun. "Inside. Close the door." Maya's hands shook, but she stepped forward, letting the door click shut behind her. "Who are you?" Maya whispered. "Someone who knows the truth." The woman circled Dominic like a shark. "Did he tell you about Seattle? About the family he destroyed?" "I told her I was framed," Dominic said through gritted teeth. The woman laughed, cold and sharp. "Is that what you're calling it now? Framed?" She pulled out her phone, tapped the screen, and turned it toward Maya. Security footage. A parking garage. Dominic's face, clear as day, raising a gun toward someone off-screen. The flash of a gunshot. A body falling. Maya's world tilted. "Still think he's innocent?" the woman asked. Dominic's voice was raw. "That footage is edited. Spliced." "Maya, don't believe her." "Why should she believe you?" The woman crouched beside him. "You've been lying since the moment you checked in." She looked up at Maya, eyes glittering. "He didn't come here to clear his name. He came here to steal something. Files worth $20 million. Files that belong to me." The truth crashed over Maya like a wave. This wasn't about justice. It never had been. "Where are they, Dominic?" the woman demanded. "Where did you hide the drive?" Dominic's jaw clenched. He said nothing. The woman stood, turned the gun toward Maya. "I'll ask one more time." And in that moment, Maya understood. Dominic had lied. Used her. Pulled her into a nightmare she couldn't escape. But the look in his eyes wasn't guilt. It was terror. For her. The gun barrel didn't waver. Maya stared down its black eye, heart hammering against her ribs. "I don't know anything about files," she said, voice steadier than she felt. The woman tilted her head. "Really? Because Dominic here has a habit of using people as insurance. Hiding things where nobody would think to look. I met him yesterday. You think he trusts me with $20 million? I think he's desperate." The woman glanced at Dominic, who remained silent, blood dripping onto the carpet. "And desperate men make terrible choices." Maya's mind raced. She could see it now, the pieces clicking together. Dominic's careful questions about her schedule. His interest in her other jobs. The way he'd asked about the coffee shop, the neighborhood. He'd been mapping her life. Creating contingencies. "The storage unit," Dominic said suddenly. His voice was rough, defeated. "I hid it in Maya's storage unit." Maya's breath caught. She didn't have a storage unit. "Which facility?" the woman demanded. "Harbor Point. Unit 147. The code is her birthday." The woman's eyes narrowed. "How would you know her birthday?" "Employee records. I hacked the hotel database the first night." It was a lie. It had to be a lie. But the woman was already pulling out her phone, making a call. "Check Harbor Point storage. Unit 147. A pause. "I don't care if it's 3 in the morning. Break the lock if you have to." She ended the call, gun still trained on Maya. "We wait." The minutes crawled. Maya stood frozen, trying to understand. Dominic hadn't moved, hadn't looked at her. His black turtleneck was torn at the shoulder, revealing bruises underneath. His gray trousers were scuffed, stained with blood at the knee. Finally, the woman's phone rang. She answered, listened, and her expression darkened. "Nothing? You're sure?" She ended the call and turned to Dominic with cold fury. "Wrong answer." The gun shifted toward his head. Wait. Maya's voice cracked. What if I can help you find it? The woman paused. How? If he hid something and didn't tell me, maybe I can figure out where. I know this city. I know where someone like him would hide something valuable. It was desperate. Ridiculous. But it bought time. The woman studied her for a long moment. You have 1 hour. If you're lying, I kill you both. She grabbed Maya's arm, yanking her toward the door. Move. Maya stumbled forward, catching Dominic's eyes for just a moment. Something passed between them. An apology. A warning. The woman pulled her into the hallway, gun pressed against Maya's spine. Walk. Slowly. They descended the stairs in silence. Maya's mind spun, searching for an escape, a plan, anything. When they reached the lobby, Jerome looked up from the desk, eyes widening. Maya? The woman smiled pleasantly, arm around Maya's shoulders now, gun hidden beneath her coat. Just walking out together. Have a good night. Jerome's expression said he didn't believe it. But what could he do? They stepped into the rain. The street was empty, glistening black. A black sedan pulled up. The woman shoved Maya toward it. Get in. Maya climbed into the back seat. The woman slid in beside her, gun now openly visible. Drive, she told the man behind the wheel. As they pulled away from the hotel, Maya saw Jerome through the window, phone pressed to his ear. Calling the police. Maybe. Start talking, the woman said. Where would he hide it? Maya's throat was dry. I need to think. To retrace where we went. You have 55 minutes. The car drove through empty streets. Rain hammered the roof. Maya stared out the window, watching the city blur past. And then she saw it. The coffee shop. Dark now, closed. There, she said. The coffee shop. We met there. He could have hidden it while I wasn't looking. The woman considered this. It's closed. I know the owner. I can get us in. Another lie. She'd never spoken to the owner in her life. But the woman nodded. Fine. Try. The car parked. They walked to the front door, rain soaking through Maya's cardigan. She tried the handle. Locked, of course. Back door, she said. They circled the building. The alley was dark, narrow, reeking of garbage. The back door had a simple lock. The woman pulled out a lockpick, working it with practiced ease. The door opened. They stepped into darkness. The woman flicked on a flashlight. Where? Maya moved through the space, mind racing. Bathroom. Storage closet. Behind the counter. And then she saw it. The back exit. A fire door, slightly ajar. Here, Maya said, moving toward a cabinet. He could have hidden it in here. The woman approached, gun lowering slightly as she focused on the cabinet. Maya grabbed a glass coffee pot from the counter and swung with everything she had. It shattered against the woman's skull. She crumpled. Maya didn't wait. She ran for the fire exit, bursting into the alley, feet pounding pavement. Behind her, a gunshot cracked. Brick exploded near her head. She turned the corner, lungs burning, and ran straight into someone. Strong hands gripped her shoulders. She looked up into Dominic's face. How did you? Later. Run. They sprinted together through rain-slicked streets, the sound of pursuit behind them. Dominic pulled her into a parking garage, weaving between cars until they found shadows deep enough to hide in. They pressed against cold concrete, breathing hard. Your hands, Maya gasped. The zip ties. He held up his wrists. Raw, bleeding, but free. Dislocated my thumb. Old trick. The files. Do they exist? Dominic's eyes met hers in the darkness. Yes. Where are they really? He reached into his pocket, pulled out a small thumb drive. Right here. Always have been. Maya's mind reeled. Then why? Because I needed her to think you knew something. Needed her to take you out of that room. His voice cracked. I couldn't let her hurt you. You used me as bait. I saved your life. By putting it in danger first. Footsteps echoed through the garage. They both fell silent. Dominic's hand found hers in the darkness, gripping tight. When I give the signal, run for the south exit. Don't look back. What about you? I'll handle this. Dominic. Maya. His eyes were steel and sorrow. I've done terrible things. Things I can't take back. But keeping you alive matters more than whatever happens to me. That's not your choice to make. Yes, he whispered. It is. He kissed her. Quick, desperate, tasting like rain and goodbye. Then he stepped out of the shadows, hands raised. I'm here. You want the drive? Come and get it. His voice echoed through the garage. Maya's heart shattered as she understood. This was his sacrifice. His choice. And she had seconds to decide if she'd let him make it alone. Maya didn't run. She stepped out of the shadows beside Dominic, her gray cardigan soaked through, white shirt clinging to her skin. Her hair hung in wet tangles around her face. She looked small next to him. Breakable. But she stood her ground. What are you doing? Dominic hissed. Something stupid. The blonde woman emerged from between parked cars, gun raised. Blood matted her hair where the coffee pot had struck. Her cream trench coat was torn, expensive fabric ruined. Two men flanked her. Armed. Professional. Touching, the woman said. The hero and his damsel. How quaint. Let her go, Dominic said. This is between us. Nothing is between us anymore. The woman's smile was vicious. You stole from me. Exposed my operation. Cost me everything. You were trafficking weapons to terrorists. I did what was right. Right? She laughed. You did what was profitable. That drive contains evidence that clears your name, sure. But it also has account numbers. $20 million you plan to steal. Maya's head snapped toward Dominic. Is that true? His jaw clenched. Silence. Tell her, the woman taunted. Tell her who you really are. I was going to use the money to disappear, Dominic said quietly. Start over somewhere they'd never find me. And me? Maya's voice cracked. What was I? Cover? A convenient distraction? No. Then what? He turned to face her, rain streaming down his face, mixing with something that might have been tears. You were supposed to be nothing. Just another person I used and left behind. But then you looked at me like I was worth saving. Like I mattered. You don't get to do this, Maya whispered. You don't get to make me care and then throw your life away. I'm trying to keep you alive. By dying? The woman's voice cut through. Enough. Give me the drive, or I kill her first and make you watch. Dominic's hand tightened around the thumb drive. You'll kill us anyway. Probably. But maybe I'll make it quick if you cooperate. Maya's mind raced. 3 armed people. 1 exit behind them. No weapons. No backup. Then she saw it. The sprinkler system overhead. The emergency fire alarm on the wall, 10 feet away. She met Dominic's eyes. Saw understanding flicker there. I'm sorry, she whispered. Then she ran. Not toward the exit. Toward the alarm. "Stop her," the woman screamed. Gunfire erupted. Maya felt a bullet graze her shoulder, white-hot pain, but she kept running. Her fingers slammed into the alarm. Sirens wailed. Sprinklers exploded to life. Water poured from the ceiling. Chaos. Dominic moved like lightning. He tackled the nearest man, wrestling for the gun. Maya grabbed a tire iron from a nearby tool rack and swung at the second man. It connected with his knee. He went down. The blonde woman aimed at Maya. Dominic saw it, broke away from his fight, and threw himself between them. The gunshot was deafening. Dominic stumbled. Red bloomed across his black turtleneck. "No!" Maya screamed. But he was still moving. Still fighting. He grabbed the woman's wrist, twisted, sent the gun clattering away. Police sirens wailed in the distance, growing closer. The woman's eyes went wild. "Fall back." Her men retreated, dragging their wounded. She followed, casting one last look of pure hatred at Dominic before disappearing into the shadows. Maya caught Dominic as he collapsed. They sank to the wet concrete together. "You're okay," she said, hands pressed against his wound. Blood pulsed between her fingers. "You're okay." "Liar," he gasped. "Ambulance is coming." Jerome called the cops. "I saw him." Maya. His hand found hers, slick with rain and blood. "The drive." "Take it." "I don't want it." "The evidence. It proves everything. My innocence. Her crimes. Get it to the FBI. You can give it to them yourself. We both know I won't make it that long." "Shut up. Stop talking." Sirens screamed closer. Red and blue lights painted the garage walls. Dominic's breathing was shallow. "I need you to know what I said before. About you being nothing. I was lying." Tears mixed with rain on Maya's face. "I know. You saved me. Not from them. From myself. Then stay. Fight. Live." His eyes were fading. "Some of us don't get that ending. Dominic, please." Footsteps pounded toward them. Paramedics. Police. They pulled Maya away. She fought them, screaming, but they held her back as they worked on Dominic. As they loaded him onto a stretcher, an officer wrapped a blanket around her shoulders. Asked questions she couldn't hear over the roaring in her ears. She watched them carry Dominic away, his hand falling limp over the side of the stretcher. The thumb drive was still clenched in her fist. 6 months later, Maya stood in front of the Harbor Point Hotel. New name, new owners, same marble floors. She wore a navy blazer over a cream blouse, black trousers that actually fit. Her hair was shorter, styled. She looked different. Put together. The evidence on the drive had brought down an entire weapons trafficking ring. Cleared Dominic's name posthumously. Exposed corruption that reached into government agencies. The FBI had offered her witness protection. She'd refused. Some of the reward money had gone to Jerome, who'd retired. The rest sat in an account she couldn't bring herself to touch. She'd visited the cemetery once. The headstone was simple. Dominic Ashford. No dates. No epitaphs. Because he wasn't there. 3 days after the shooting, he'd walked out of the hospital against medical advice and disappeared. The FBI said he was dead, that no one could survive those injuries. But there was no body. No trace. Maya told herself to let it go. To move on. To accept that some endings weren't clean. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. Hello? Silence. Then, you cut your hair. Her heart stopped. Where are you? Somewhere warm. Somewhere safe. His voice was rough, older somehow. I couldn't reach out before. Too dangerous. For 6 months I thought you were dead. I'm sorry. Maya closed her eyes, tears spilling over. You don't get to be sorry. You left. I had to. They're still looking. They'll always be looking. Then why call? A long pause. Because I needed to hear your voice. One last time. This can't be how it ends. It has to be. No. Maya's voice hardened. You owe me more than a phone call and a goodbye. What do you want from me? An address. Coordinates. Something. Maya. You said I saved you. Prove it. Let me choose. The silence stretched so long she thought he'd hung up. Then, there's a cafe in Lisbon. Rua de Rosa. I'm there every morning at 8. Her breath caught. Dominic. Don't come. Please. You have a life now. I have a life built on blood money and nightmares. Then build a better one. I'm trying to. She heard him exhale. Imagined him standing somewhere sunny, far from rain and gunfire. Alive. If you come, he said quietly, there's no going back. They'll never stop hunting. You'll never be safe. I haven't been safe since the moment I met you. Another pause. Then something that might have been a laugh. Broken and real. 8 a.m. Rua de Rosa. The line went dead. Maya stood on the sidewalk, phone clutched in her hand, staring at her reflection in the hotel glass. She looked tired. Scared. Alive. Tomorrow, she'd book a flight. Or she wouldn't. The choice was hers. But either way, she'd survive. They both would. Some endings weren't clean. Some love stories didn't resolve. But they endured. And sometimes, that was enough. The end.